when it comes to our health, to recovering our health, and in this case, recovering from cancer, because that's the kind of work that I specialize in, one of the least talked about and yet most important skills we can develop is the skill of patience. Yes, having patience. Patience is not necessarily what you think about in the midst of treatment, or even right there at the doctor's office when for the very first time you heard those three powerful words, you have cancer. Patience perhaps couldn't be further from your mind, right? In that very moment, the most natural desire that anyone can have is for this to be over, for you to be healed, to have this behind you, to be healthy again, right? That's the most natural desire anyone can have. And yet, this very natural desire, which is very often coupled with the expectation for things to go really fast, for recovery to happen fast, because of fear and everything we already know about cancer, this natural desire breeds a great deal of suffering. So there's a quote that I share with my clients, a quote that is taken from an inspirational text called The Course in Miracles. And this quote states that with endless patience, or that endless patience bring about immediate results. And it's kind of a deep concept if you stop to think about it. So to ensure that it's viewed through the right lens, let me just say that it's not meant, the quote is not meant to be taken in its literal sense. Instead, it's meant more as an invitation for us to take our minds off ourselves, right? To stop obsessing over ourselves, stop obsessing over the diagnosis, our symptoms, our procedures, and everything in between, and instead find an aspect in our life, even just one aspect that is working and worthwhile, one aspect that we can focus on, obsess about, an aspect that is working and uplifting. And this is important because we know through research that the biochemistry produced by certain states of mind, in this case, anxiety, fear, worry, or stress in general, is immune suppressant. In other words, it's not conducive to our recovery efforts. So it's important for us to stop doing that. And yet, if you're like many of my clients, taking our minds off ourselves in this period of time is easier said than done. What I find to be even more challenging for many of my clients is it's hard for us to admit that in a way, in some way, we are kind of addicted to the stress in our lives, to the drama in our lives, to the suffering that the stress and drama in our lives produce. It's hard for us to admit to that. It's uncomfortable. And yet on some level, we do know, we understand, we can't afford to continue and dance this dance of shadows in our mind. We know we can't afford it. And I teach each and every one of my clients how to step out of this dance, how to break free. And people learn really, really fast. They learn fast because intuitively they understand that if they'll continue to think and feel and believe what they thought, felt, and believed until now, it is very likely that they'll continue to produce the internal biochemistry that rendered their body vulnerable to disease agents and carcinogenics in the first place. And they very much want to not do that anymore. So what does patience have to do with all of this? What does patience have to do with cancer recovery? Well, think about it. When you plant a seed in the ground of some beautiful tree that will blossom one day, you're not going to come back tomorrow or the next day or even next week and dig it out because it hasn't sprouted yet and you want to see why it hasn't sprouted yet, right? We've learned to accept that certain things in our lives take time. Pregnancy, for example, take a certain amount of time. However long it takes, we're not going to prod and, right? We're not going to poke before time, the right time is here. And this applies to healing and recovery in general, more specifically to cancer here. And patience, the skill of patience specifically, because it is a practical and tangible practice. It's a gateway, if you will, to a better state of mind. And a better state of mind produce better biochemistry, one that is more conducive to healing and recovery. It's how we get in front of it, how we get in a driver's seat, how we get to play a greater role in our recovery. It's how we position ourselves to the best possible outcome, cultivating patience. And I really hope you can hear this message and make it your own. Make patience or having patience your own practice, because it will make all the difference in the world. All right, I've said enough. Hopefully some of it resonated with you. If it did, if you want to know how to get there, how to get all the way to patience, how to get to all the way to recovery, send me a message and we can set up a time for us to talk. No strings attached. I look forward to speaking with you. Thank you for watching, and there's a lot to be done. Take care. Bye-bye.